I was in prayer, and the Lord appeared to me. He showed me the scars on his hand and feet, and he told me, "My son Philip, I must show you things that stop and block the prayer of the saint. These are things that stop your prayer from reaching my throne." Immediately I saw the heaven opening above us, and we started to rise to the sky. When we rose to the sky, the Lord showed me a particular church on the land, where wicked spirit of the air have placed a kind of black metallic fence above the building of the church. This is in order to stop their prayer. I saw that when the people were praying, their prayer were blocked in this metallic structure in the air above the church. Beside this metallic fence above the church, I saw the second metallic barrier in the firmament, and when I look up higher beyond the second metallic barrier, I saw a third metallic device in space in the firmament. There were a total of 3 metallic fence deployed in space by the spirit of air to stop prayers. The prayers that rose from this church were unable to pierce and penetrate the 3 metallic fence deployed by Prince of Demon, and these prayers were blocked in the space by these 3 cosmic barriers. People prayed, but their prayer were stopped by cosmic installation. As a result, their prayer were coming down to earth. I was observing the 3 metallic devices. These cosmic fences were prayers barriers. The Lord told me, unless this church prays heat at high temperature, unless their prayer become fiery and ardent, they will not rise to my throne. This church must pray to the point where their prayer become fiery. Their prayer must increase in temperature and heat, so that it can melt the metallic fence in the air. Unless the prayer of this church produce extreme heat, that will melt the metallic barriers in the cosmos, it will not reach my throne. I expect their prayer to become blazing, red hot and flamboyant, so that the metallic fence in the atmosphere will be melted by the heat. For only an intense prayer that is producing great heat at high temperature that can melt the metallic device, installed in the atmosphere and set up by the Prince of Air in the firmament to stop prayers. The Lord then showed me a second church, where people were praying. I saw that when they prayed, their prayer began to rise in the atmosphere. I saw that the first metallic fence was melted by the heat produced by their prayer. The second metallic fence was melted partially, but it was not melted completely. This prayer could not melt the third metallic barriers either. I noticed that the third fence in the atmosphere remained intact and solid. I was worried to witness this reality. The Lord told me, only a church that walk in holiness and righteousness that can raise prayer to my throne without opposition. For sanctification and fervency in prayer cause the 3 metallic barriers to melt. The first metallic fence is less solid than the second, but the third barrier in the firmament is harder than the previous 2. If your prayer can melt aluminum, there is no guarantee that it will melt iron and steel in the atmosphere. You need fierce and fervent prayer that is heated in high temperature. I thank God for the Lord revealed that the heaven was opened for our church, for we are desperately trying to walk in holiness and righteousness. Because of sanctification, our prayer always melt the 3 fences in the atmosphere. A life of sanctification and fervency in prayer cause our prayer to heat in high temperature. It make our prayer blazing, fiery and burning to such a degree that these metallic fences and barriers would not resist the heat and high temperature. This is the reason why the enemy is working to remove a life of holiness and sanctification in the local church, for he knows that when people live in willful sin, he will be able to stop their prayer in the air. The enemy fear a church that walk in holiness and pray fervently. The Lord told me, given that the heaven is opened for your church, as a result of sanctification, the enemy is afraid to see you praying, brother. Often when we pray, the devil attack our mind with all kind of thought. In order to prevent concentration, the earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. Then the Lord began to talk to me about the 3-path or trajectory of prayer. The Lord said, firstly, every Christian has a personal path where his prayer travel to heaven. It is an individual channel and trajectory or prayer where his prayer rise. Secondly, every Christian couple and family has family trajectory or path of prayer. It is a channel and trajectory where the family prayer rise to my throne. Thirdly, every church on earth has its specific trajectory and path of prayer. This is a channel and path where the church prayer rise to my throne. Since many of children no longer walk in purity and sanctification, their channel, path and trajectory or prayer are blocked because of sinful life. When they pray alone, their prayer are stopped and obstructed by the cosmic fence in the firmament. However, when they come to church and pray together with brethren, their prayer will rise to my throne thanks to the church prayer path of prayer. Brother, every time you go to church and join the saint in prayer, your prayer goes up to the throne through the church prayer path, even if your personal path of prayer was blocked because of your walk. And whenever you pray with the family, your prayer rise to the throne through the family prayer path, because you are using the family prayer path and trajectory. A Christian that is failing to purify himself can still benefit from his family and church prayer channel and trajectory, even if his own trajectory or prayer is blocked. That's in case his family and church path and trajectory or prayer is opened. We can therefore use our channel and family prayer trajectory and channel if our prayer channel is blocked. For when we pray together in the church, there is a great path and channel by which the church prayer rise. And when we pray in family, our prayer rise to heaven through the great family path and trajectory of prayer. However, when you pray alone, you are using your personal channel and path of prayer. During prayer, they are thoughts that go through our mind. These thoughts undermine our prayer. When you pray and think about something else then the subject of prayer, the prayer is undermined.